this next video, I'm going to show you how to solve the next problem, okay, which is what you see here. We have 5 Newton of force acting in this direction, 3 Newton force acting in this direction. They are separated by angle 120 degrees. And the question is, what is the third force that you must add in to make the sum of forces equals to 0? Okay, so the theory here is that the sum of forces must form a close triangle. Okay, so what do we mean by a close triangle? So let me do a quick drawing for you. Okay, so first this is the 5 Newton force. Okay, so let's use blue. Okay, so 5 newtons. Okay, 5 newtons this way. Right. So now, what happens? Where do we put the 3 newtons force? Okay, so you take the tail of the 3 newtons force and put it at the tip of the 5 newton force. So this way. Okay, 3 newtons. Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is where the tail of the 3 newton force is, and you notice that the tail is now at the tip. Alright, so now what do we mean by close triangle? How do we close this triangle? Simply start from the tip of the 3 Newton force and end at the tail of the 5 Newton force. Okay, so this is the third force that will make the sum of forces equals to 0, which is the red color one. So 5 Newton, tip, tail of the 3 Newton force to the tip of the 5 Newton force, and at the tip of the 3 Newton force, you start with an arrow all the way to where the tail of the arrow is, and the tip will end at the tail of the 5 Newton force. Okay, so do you see the trend in the drawing? The tip of one force, or the tail of one force, is at the tip of the other. Okay, so what happens is that in order for us to actually discover the actual value for forces, we must do what is known as a scale drawing. Okay. Alright. Okay. So how do we do this scale drawing? Okay. So let me end this row first. Let's keep it in. Okay. Let's go on to the next slide. Okay. So what happens is that okay, you must basically draw a 5 Newton line in exactly what is parallel to what you have here. Okay. So I'm going to drag, but of course I know you will. Okay. I'm going to drag. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to drag. Okay. Here we go. This is our 5 Newton force. Oops. Okay. Let's just wait for the computer. Okay. The computer is behaving funny, but never mind. Okay. So now you draw a line that's parallel to the 5 Newton force, which you have seen, and then make sure using a scale of 1 cm equals to 1 cm equals to 1 Newton. Okay, so make sure it's 5 Newtons long. Okay, 5 cm long. Okay, so now I'm going to just extend the arrow. Okay, so that it is 5 cm long. Okay, right. So now draw another line that's parallel to the 3 Newton force. Okay, so I'm going to drag it all the way here. Okay, let's drag it here. And remember, the tail of the 3 Newton force should be at the tip of the 5 Newton force. Okay, so right. So now I'm going to measure using my ruler. Okay, and of course you should be doing this on pen and paper with a ruler, and then you just have to make sure that the 3 Newton force is 3 cm long. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are using a scale of 1 Newton to 1 cm. Okay, right. So are we ready to complete the triangle? Yes. Okay. So now what happens is that we have 5 Newton force here, 3 Newton force here. So the tail of at the tip of 3 Newton force, you draw the tail of the arrow, and that joins with the tip of the tip of the arrow. Okay, let's oops. Okay, yes. Okay. So now what happens is that the tip of the 5 Newton force, or rather the tip of your third arrow that you draw, should end at the tail of the 5 Newton force. Okay, and the tail of the additional force that you've drawn should start at the tip of the Newton. Okay, so now once you've drawn the arrow, okay, you are ready to measure the length of the arrow. Okay, and if you've done it correctly, looks like my PowerPoint isn't so good, but if you've done it correctly, you should get an answer of 4 cm. Okay, so the third force, okay, has a value of 4 newtons and it acts in this direction. Okay, so we are ready to complete the question, okay, by drawing the third force in. Okay, so third force, okay, let me just make sure. Okay, so it's just draw a parallel line here. Okay, you notice that this is my third force, tail here, tip here, and has a value of 4 newton. Okay, and this is the end of this part of your video. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Okay, let us just remind ourselves what we are doing. Okay, we are looking for a third force that makes the sum of forces equals to 0 on this object, and we have found that, okay, the third force that makes the sum of forces 0 on this object is a 4 Newton force, approximately in this direction, which is actually parallel to what you have drawn over here. Okay, right, yeah, so this is the end of the video.